So, you want to be a pro kickboxer? Cool. But let's be real. Most people who say that just slap a couple of roundhouses on a heavy bag at the gym, post it on Instagram, and think they're the next Buakaw or Rico Verhoeven. Spoiler alert, kickboxing isn't highlight reels and flashy combos. It's shin bones clashing until you can't walk straight. It's bruises that don't fade for weeks. It's sweat on the mats, blood in your mouth guard, and pain in places you didn't know could hurt. This sport will kick you harder than you'll ever kick a bag. And if you're still nodding your head like you want this, good. Because I'm about to break down the 5 brutal steps it actually takes to become a real professional kickboxer. Step 1. Know your weapons. Whereas boxing gives you 2 fists, kickboxing gives you an entire arsenal: hands, elbows, knees, and shins. Sounds badass, right? Until you realize that means there are about 4 ways to get wrecked. As always, my advice is to start young. Most successful kickboxers walk into the gym as kids or teenagers when their bodies are still flexible, their reflexes are sharp, and their pain tolerance hasn't been softened by comfort. Think of legends like Buakaw who started fighting in their early teens. But know this, there's no age cutoff for learning to throw a proper kick. The difference is simple. The younger you start, the more years you have to sharpen your weapons. The older you start, the faster you'll have to suffer to catch up. Either way, the clock is ticking, and the sport won't wait for you. And while we're on the subject of starting points, here's another brutal truth. Your weight class will decide your battlefield. Kickboxing isn't one size fits all. Lighter classes like featherweight or lightweight are stacked with speed demons throwing 100 kicks around, while heavyweights fight like freight trains with shin armor. You don't always get to pick. Your body type chooses for you, but knowing where you belong early keeps you from wasting years fighting uphill. Your first week in a real Muay Thai or kickboxing gym will be a wake-up call. You'll eat front kicks, called teeps, straight to the gut, take a couple of low kicks to your thighs, and suddenly wonder why walking feels like punishment. That's when you'll learn the painful truth. The first enemy isn't your opponent, it's the pain in your own legs. Early training isn't about flashy spin kicks, it's about the fundamental stuff: stance, distance, balance. Learning how to check kicks, blocking with your shin instead of your thigh. Yes, it hurts, and yes, you'll think your leg's about to snap the first time you do it wrong. But this is where the foundation gets built. Most gyms won't let you spar full power right away. And that's good, because if you jumped straight into a war, your cardio would collapse after 30 seconds, and some kid half your size would be chopping you down like a tree. So you start slow. Bag work, pad drills, controlled sparring. Remember, this step isn't about proving you're tough, it's about learning the science of using your whole body as a weapon. So, if you survive the first step, that already makes you different. Most people quit when the shin bruises set in, when their cardio gets tested, or when they realize kickboxing isn't just flashy combos for Instagram. If you're still showing up after all that, congrats. You've just made it further than about 60 to 70% of wannabes who never stick with training long enough to fight. But now comes the real test. Can you take what you learned in the gym and carry it under the lights? Step 2. Amateur kickboxing matches. Here's the reality. Until you've actually fought, you're just another pad warrior. Everybody looks slick when the coach is holding mitts. But the second the bell rings, the lights are on, and someone's trying to kick your legs off, that's when you find out if you really belong here. This stage is all about amateur fights. Your first taste will probably be smokers. Those low-key, unsanctioned bouts in gyms. No fancy lights, no big crowds, just sweaty mats, borrowed gloves, and maybe a dozen people watching. It doesn't matter. These scraps are where you learn to control your nerves, get used to getting hit, and test whether your technique survives under pressure. To qualify for real amateur fights, you usually need your coach's sign-off. A good gym won't just throw you into the ring because you asked, they'll want to see you show up consistently, spar regularly, and demonstrate basic conditioning and defense. Once your coach believes you won't freeze or embarrass the gym, they'll start putting your name forward. From there, you'll often need to register with a local kickboxing or Muay Thai association, get medically cleared, blood work, eye exam, sometimes an EKG, and get an amateur license. It sounds bureaucratic, but it's simple if you're serious. Show up, pay the small fee, and now you're officially eligible to fight. Now you move into sanctioned amateur events, headgear, shin guards, oversized gloves. It's safer, but don't get it twisted. You'll still come home with bruises, sore ribs, and maybe even a bloody nose. Kickboxing isn't supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to harden you. Most pros rack up at least 10 to 20 amateur fights before turning pro. Some go 30, 40, even 50. Every match teaches you something new: how to fight taller opponents, shorter ones, brawlers, counter-strikers. You learn pacing, timing, and how to stay calm when your gas tank empties in round 2. This isn't about building an undefeated record, it's about building experience. Take Buakaw Banchamek, for instance, one of Muay Thai's greatest ever. By the time he broke onto the K1 international scene, he already had hundreds of fights under his belt in Thailand's tough Muay Thai circuits. And here's the truth. By this point, 90% of people who once thought they wanted to be kickboxers are gone. They couldn't handle the nerves, the bruises, or the grind of cutting weight just to fight for free in a sweaty gym. If you're still here, still stepping into that ring when your stomach's in knots, you're already in the top 10%. But don't pat yourself on the back yet. Amateur stripes are just that. Stripes. The real leap is still ahead. Going pro where there's no shin guards, no headgear, and no excuses. Step 3. Going pro. Before you even throw your first professional kick, there's paperwork. You'll once again need a license from your state athletic commission in the US or your National Kickboxing Federation in Europe and elsewhere. That means medicals, blood tests, eye exams, sometimes even an EKG or brain scan to prove you're fit to get hit. Ironic, isn't it? You'll also need a professional coach in your corner, someone with years of fight experience who knows how to prepare fighters for real shows. The way you get one isn't by sending DMs to famous trainers, it's by showing up, grinding, and proving you're serious. Good coaches notice the fighters who are first in the gym, last out, and always listening. When you put in that kind of work, the right coach will pick you, not the other way around. A manager, on the other hand, comes later, usually after you've built some amateur wins or caught attention on the local pro circuit. Managers aren't personal assistants, they're business lifelines. They talk to promoters, book fights, and negotiate purses. Most legit managers take 10 to 20% of your fight earnings. But here's the catch. The good ones won't touch you unless you've already shown potential. To get one, you network through your coach, your gym, or the small fight promotions where everyone knows everyone. Show promise, win consistently, and someone will want to help steer your career. For a cut, of course. But before any good manager even looks your way, you need a debut. And trust me, it won't be glamorous. Forget bright lights and big purses. Most new pros fight in local shows, in community centers or casinos for a few $100. Sometimes less. Your opponent won't be a highlight reel. He'll be another hungry fighter trying to use you as a stepping stone. Every mistake now costs more than bruises. It costs wins, money, and momentum. This is also where promoters enter the picture. They're the gatekeepers of opportunity. Win excitingly and they'll remember your name. Lose badly and they'll stop calling. At this level, consistency matters more than flash. Stack wins, keep your cardio sharp, and stay injury-free, and your reputation grows. By now, you're past 95% of people who ever said, "I want to be a kickboxer." You're in the Shark Tank where every fighter is skilled, motivated, and chasing the same dream: glory, belts, and a shot at the big shows like Glory Kickboxing or One Championship. Step 4. Climb the ranks. So you've turned pro. Congrats. But here's the cold reality. Being a pro kickboxer doesn't mean anything yet. Every small town has pros. The real test is whether you can climb out of the shadows of local shows and into the spotlight where the real killers live. This stage is all about stacking wins and building momentum. No more soft touches, no more hand-picked opponents. You'll fight guys who've been in the game longer, who've seen every style, and who won't fold just because you landed one flashy combo. Every fight is survival, but every win is a ladder rung. And here's the grind most people don't see: fighting multiple times a year, cutting weight over and over, learning how to train smart so you don't burn out, and showing up consistent. Injuries, bruises, fatigue, none of it matters. The sport doesn't care if you're tired, it cares if you deliver when the bell rings. This is also where your manager and coach really earn their keep. They'll help you find fights that push you forward without breaking you too soon. They'll get you on bigger cards against better names, in promotions that scouts actually watch. Without them, you're just another 3-0 fighter begging for a shot. The truth? Most pros stall here. They fight a few times, stack a record, then fade out because the grind eats them alive. But if you can survive this climb, if you can build streaks, maybe grab a regional belt, you'll start catching real attention. Glory, One, Infusion. They don't look for guys who say they're ready. They look for fighters who've proven it over and over again. So, let's say you did it. You fought your way out of the small shows, stacked wins, and now one of the big promotions finally calls your name. Step 5. Living the dream. By now, you've made it further than 99% of people who ever said, "I want to be a kickboxer." That's not an exaggeration. Out of every 100 who walk into a gym, maybe one survives the amateurs, goes pro, climbs the ranks, and signs with a major promotion. And out of those, only a tiny fraction ever touch a world title. You're standing on ground most fighters will only dream about. This is the stage where everything sharpens. You're not just another fighter on the card, you're the one people are paying to see. Training camps get longer, sparring partners get tougher, and the media starts circling. You'll be doing press conferences, interviews, maybe even walkouts in front of arenas packed with tens of thousands of fans. The grind never stops, it only intensifies. Every opponent is studying you, every promoter is watching you, and every fan expects you to deliver fireworks. Win a belt here, glory, one championship, or another top-tier promotion, and your name enters the history books. It's the moment every fighter imagines. The lights are blinding, the crowd is roaring, your coach is screaming in your corner, and the ref lifts your hand while a gold strap gets wrapped around your waist. For a few seconds, all the shin bruises, all the empty gyms, all the cheap paydays fade away, and it feels worth it. Once you become a champion in a big promotion, the payouts go well beyond what you got in local shows. In some tournaments, like high-stakes glory events, the grand prize alone can be $150,000, and in one's World Grand Prix, the winner has walked away with $1 million. Base purses for top champions often hover in the tens of thousands to low six figures, with bonuses, sponsorships, and performance fees pushing that number up. Some fighters in Glory and One have contracts, gear deals, and paid appearances that double or triple their fight money. It's still not always stable. Some undercard bouts pull in much less. But get to the top, stay there, and you unlock levels of money most never see. But even here, the reality check remains. Being a champion isn't about one big win. It's about defending it, over and over again. It's about proving you're not just the guy who grabbed the belt, but the one who can keep it when the wolves come hunting. That's why the percentage is so small, because staying on top is even harder than getting there. So, yeah, you did it. You became the 1% of the 1% the champion people measure themselves against. The spotlight is on you now, and for once, you're the dream everyone else is chasing. Now, before I wrap this video up, I want to point something out. A few of my viewers have called me out in the past for not mentioning CTE in my combat sports videos. And they were right. While I've always assumed that people watching already know the risks involved with such brutal sports, it's a mistake not to address it directly. So here it is. Just like in boxing, MMA, or any other fight game, the risk of brain damage and chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, is very real in kickboxing. Every spar, every fight, every headshot adds up over time. This isn't fear-mongering, it's the truth. If you choose this path, do it with eyes wide open. The glory, the belts, the paydays, they all come with a cost, and you owe it to yourself to weigh that cost before chasing the dream. So if you've become a kickboxer, what's next? Already crushed my UFC and boxing guides? Then you're basically a double threat. Whether you're chasing a Formula 1 seat, fighter pilot wings, or a pro baseball career, I'll break it down, step by step. Just drop your dream in the comments.